And it went like.
What else happened there? Hey, what's happening day one? And like Eshena, big up to you. Big up to you. Better late than never. Better late than never. I had a few things to do, so starting a bit late. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. Kimberly in the building. How we doing, Kimberly? Much love to you. Dr. Wake Walker. Yo. Good stuff. Good stuff. Hope everybody is well. Let's jump straight into this. Let's start looking at some things. Starting off with the convo from yesterday with J Dreamers and I think it's Alpha Talks. Yeah, without further ado, let's go.
Cities that's described in the Bible. There's Mystery Babylon, the kingdom of Satan. Babylon the Great, Mother Babylon is another name. And then, of course, there's New Jerusalem, right? So Revelation 18:2 states, Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great. She has become a
Oops. Forgot about this part. Adverts.
demons and a prison of every unclean spirit and a prison of every unclean and hateful bird. City of angels, the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 22. But you have come to Mount Zion and to the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem, and to the myriad of angels, right? So there's this contrast. There's this heavenly city, and then there's this evil city of rebellious angels, unclean spirits, demons. So yeah, that's then on the next verse. This is one of my favorite clues or proofs that the Bible does talk about the abode of the gods or Satan and his fallen angels, right? Because the Bible does state that the gods and the fallen angels are basically the same thing. The fallen ones presented themselves as the gods of
The gods and the fallen angels are the same things. I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
humanity ruling from the vantage point in their abode. So in the book of Job, there's this very interesting account where Satan comes to God in the heavenly council, and God asks him, Where have you been? And Satan answers, and he says, I come from compassing the earth, right? Going around it up above the sky and walking up and down it, meaning coming down from this high up vantage point and then going back up into his abode.
Walking up and down in the world. Answered the Lord and said, I have come from compassing the earth and walking up and down in the world. Wow. I've never heard these little quotes. All right, but walking up and down again, it's giving me more mountain, hill, pile, pyramid type style, right?
So yeah, I feel like this is describing his home. He's going back.
Or crater, right? Even crater, compassing, going around the crater, all right? And walking up and down the mound part, possibly.
Back and forth as all these mythologies state, right? On when it comes to the abode of the gods, and then the gods come down to the humans and go back up. So that's what I think the book of Job is basically talking about.
Yeah, the Satan was just traveling the world as this force or power or something of that nature. And we're going to come back to the whole Satan traveling the world and influencing those as he goes too, as we talk about and get into the season of Satan after this.
So yeah, and also throughout the Bible, it talks about the fate of this heavenly or this evil city that's in the sky, the abode of the gods. For example, in Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 53, it says, Though Babylon should ascend to the heavens, and though she should fortify her lofty stronghold, from me destroyers will come to her, declares the Lord. So God is saying that although the abode of the gods, the abode of the fallen, goes up to the heavens, God will send destroyers, angels, to bring it back down. But yeah, next slide. And then, of course, in more detail throughout the book of Isaiah and Jeremiah, it describes its fate. So in Isaiah chapter 26, verse 5, it says, For he brings down them that dwell on high, the lofty city. He lays it low even to the ground. He brings it even to the dust. So we know this city is high above the earth because God states in the verse, he brings it even to the ground, meaning it's not on the ground, somewhere in the heavens. And he brings it not just to the ground, but turns it to dust.
Yeah, but hold on a second. For he brings down them that dwells on the high. Dwells on the high, the lofty city, it lays low. It lays it low. Lay it low. Hey, lay low. I like that. Even to the ground. Okay. What do they mean by that? It's like something's high and low at the same time. Something high and something low at the same time.
Completely destroys it. And then in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 25, it says, "Behold, I am against you, O destroying mountain, who destroys the whole earth, declares the Lord. And I will stretch out my hand against you and roll you down from the crags, and I will make you a burnt out mountain." So
Wow.
again,
Burnt out mountain. Why are they attacking the mountain? Why are you attacking the mountain? What's going on with this mountain? Mountains can't fight back. All right? What's their need to attack a mountain for? Maybe there's people who live on top of this mountain, or maybe it's an entrance, right? Inner earth, cave, mountain. CC in the building. What's going on? Much love. Big up to you.
he says, "Oh, destroying mountain." We're going back to our whole conversation on the motif of some kind of heavenly mountain among these pagan beliefs, right? Like Mount Olympus in the sky. He calls it, "Oh, destroying mountain who corrupts the earth. I will bring you down and I'm going to turn you into a burnt out mountain that's going to fall to the earth, turn to dust, to the ground." So,
That's
yeah.
so interesting. Like the heavenly mountain land, essentially, that's being discussed, that's up there in the heavens. We've, biblically speaking, we've had the waters above that are up there, you know, above the atmosphere that we can see and are aware of. And then we have possibly land above, some sort of land up there as well, which is possible scientifically and physically whenever people study things like superconductors, right?
Mhm.
Like, have you seen the superconductor and how they can make
Yeah.
ice
Yeah.
like float
Like
around
float.
and
Yeah.
hover? Well, you can put
Mhm.
stuff on top of that ice as well, you know, and it'll also hover and float and things of that nature. And for me, I've always kind of seen, well, I believe that there's a firm
That's a good point. If there's waters above, why can't there be land above? Why can't there be land above if there's water above? It's a construct. We have to figure it out somehow. Somehow. Ruled by Saturn in the building. How you doing? Happy Triple S.
firmament and a dome. Is that something you're aligned with too?
No, 100%. Biblical cosmology, it makes the most sense scientifically, just logically.
Okay, good. That makes me happy to hear. Okay. But anyways, yes, the mountains above, a floating mountain, a dangerous mountain, this mountain that falls and is fallen, and there's a connection there with Lucifer also falling from the heavens, and the
Mhm.
angels falling from the heavens, things falling from high above, way high above, where we don't see now because of whatever conditions we live in during this
Mhm.
time, or the season of Satan that blinds people, because that's basically what Satan is typically known for doing, is lying and blinding people and not revealing things and not casting the light, the true
And then
light upon people.
inverting as well. Mhm.
Yeah, making things upside down, inverting them. This is so interesting to me because I don't know if you've heard me talk about my theories on the firmament, the shape of it, the actual shape of it, but I suppose that it might go up like a bowl as it's traditionally depicted, but at the apex might actually invert and
Mhm.
create a little upside down bowl that faces us, or like a dome that faces our direction or whatever too. And I suppose that might be the origin of the what is projecting what we call the moon, or a projection of the moon up there in the sky, and the actual physical features we see on that projection that we call the moon, or the hologram up there, exists but inverted, because it's a projection and it's a part of, or a piece of, the dome above. And if the sky breaks open, and if that particular region were to break off and come down or fall down, kind of like the story of Og holding the mountain above the
Mhm.
heavenly city, that would be the real moon, the actual, the substance behind the projection. The real moon actually breaking off as a piece of the firmament and coming straight down. And in ancient times, the real moon, or the moon goddess, was known, or the moon god was known as Sheen, or sin, and sin entering down, falling into the world, or whatever. And that's a sign that things are changing and entering into corrupt times. Let's jump back into your presentation here. We were at the.
I'm 61. I have zero.
Damn. Yeah, I'm glad he mentioned the reference to sin. What was the other word?
Entering down, falling into the world, or whatever. And that's a sign that things are changing and entering into corrupt times. Let's jump back into your presentation here. We were at the time. The word Sheen, or sin.
Ah, sheen and sin. Sheen and sin. Okay.
And sin entering down, falling into the world, or whatever. And that's a sign that things are changing and entering into corrupt times. Let's jump back into your presentation here. We were at the book of Jeremiah and Isaiah here. Oh, you know what? This also kind of this reminds me of a lot of truth and fiction of
the Death Star,
right? Yes.
Yeah, I talk about that in videos as well. The kind of similarities we see in Star Wars.
All right, next up, Revelation 8:8. As
we read in Jeremiah,
the Death Star. Yes, one of, is it Saturn's or Jupiter's moons? Is it Mimas or something like that? That also looks like the Death Star. So much similarities, right? So much similarities with this moon, which looks and resembles the Death Star, one of Jupiter's moons, may I add. Pretty interesting. We may go over that sometime soon.
He talks about turning this destroying mountain into a burning mountain that comes down to the ground, that's turned to dust. So in Revelation, it states, the second angel sounded.
Yes, Sheen, like Charlie Sheen. Exactly, Mary. Charlie Sheen. Sheen. You tell me in the building what's happening. Mary, welcome.
And something like a great mountain burning with fire was thrown into the sea, and a third of the sea became blood. So this is that destroying mountain that floated in the heavens, which is thrown down.
And this is interesting. What's this about?
So Revelation describes this mountain and actually what it looks like. Specifically in Revelation chapter 18, verse 21, it says, then a strong angel took up a stone like a great millstone and threw it into the sea, saying, so will Babylon, the great city, be thrown down with violence and will no longer be found, and will not be found any longer. Right. So when John is seeing this vision, he sees a millstone looking object in the sky, which an ancient millstone looks like a circle with another little circle on the inside. And what is very interesting, there's something called, there's an ancient symbol, a solar symbol called the winged sun disk, as I show you at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it depicts a circle within a circle that floats high above the sky. And this symbol is also associated with the Egyptian god Ra. This was his symbol, a circle with a dot or a circle in the middle, or like a rim in the middle as well.
That's giving me that same vibe with the sin. Right, with the mountain god. It sits up right there. Got it. Looking like that again, right? Got that sin thing going on again. Takes you back to this one.
Yeah.
So John is.
Right. It almost looks like two things, though, coming to think about it. It's like a few things, but it definitely looks like Sin, the mountain god. Right, meant to represent that. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like.
Seeing this object in the sky that looks like a millstone, or like, the Star Wars Death Star, and he sees an angel come down and bring it down to the earth. So combining it with all the other verses that I showed you in Jeremiah and Isaiah, talks about a mountain in the sky that it calls it Babylon. It's high up in the sky. Angels come, take the mountain, throw it down to the earth, turns into a burning mountain.
See, even the mountain now. Now we have a mountain called Babylon. A mountain called Babylon. It's all about these mountains, ladies and gentlemen. The heaps, the rock piles, right? The mountains. You know, where have I seen something like this? The rock piles. Hold on a second. Give me a sec. Let's go over here. Where's it gone? Okay. Going back to that. The rock pile, just keep that in mind.
Turns to dust. It's just it's fallen. Revelation states, fallen is Babylon, the home of every unclean spirit, of every fallen one. But yeah.
You're right. That does. It's the millstone shape. It's the shape of the millstone. This one on the left here for the audience, this is what a traditional millstone would look like, used to grind the grain. And biblically speaking, we're the grain. We're the wheat and the chaff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so something falls from the heavens, just like as is discussed in the especially in the Bible, that there's a harvest, there's a time of harvesting, and the people are the ultimate harvest, essentially, the bearing fruits or not bearing fruits, and that there's physically, I mean, people can internalize it, they can turn it into symbolism and metaphors if they'd like to, but I tend to believe that along with symbolic things or spiritual or invisible qualities come the physical ones, that the
Yeah, but hold on, let's go back a bit then, because even that mill stuff, right? This stuff looks like the hollow earth stuff again. Like the earth in the middle, and from there to here would be the moon, so all that would be the moon, right? Or the celestial vault. But let me hold on, let me show you what I mean. Come on. You can use that one. And we can use this one. I don't know who created these, but they're spot on. Whoever created these. All right, hold on. So you got this little thing in the middle, right? And then you have the whole sphere that it's inside of. So this would be the moon's surface, so to speak, right? Just imagine that being a sphere. This is the surface of it. And inside would be the earth, like the egg. Right, just like they show you on these type of things here. Right, Terra inside. And then the next prominent one is Luna, right? We know it's not showing anything going around us, right? This is more of a barrier they're showing. See how they're showing a barrier from there to there. All right, then you have your cortex, your rings, but these ones here, they're showing you a barrier, right? That's the barrier. We know they don't do movements. These ain't no, they're not showing you any movements, right? No movements, they're just showing you a barrier. You have it here as well. Right, look, you got Earth in the middle again. Got your few rings, your rangs, right? And they're showing you the barrier again. Look from here to here. And this looks like the globe, Geo, see? This could be the original globe. Everything's inside of the globe. Geo, right? These are meant to be your Van Allen belts. So you got your first one here and your second one here. That's what you're encased in. You see what I'm saying? This is the shell. This is the cocoon. From there to there. From there to there, it looks like, right? And then from here outwards will be orbit. Right? Iridium. Odyssey. Ooh. So these are like the satellites. These things here, right? The Odyssey and all these other things, they're the satellites. They're what would call the spaces where the satellites reside. Right? But we know there's not satellites like that, ladies and gentlemen. They're showing you the barrier, right? Just like this, barrier. Just like this, barrier.
And so something falls from the heavens, just like as is discussed in the especially in the Bible, that there's a harvest. There's a time of harvesting, and the people are the ultimate harvest, essentially, the bearing fruits or not bearing fruits, and that there's physically, I mean, people can internalize it. They can turn it into symbolism and metaphors if they'd like to, but I tend to believe that along with symbolic things or spiritual or invisible qualities come the physical ones, that the physical is born out of that. So that whenever the Bible is saying there will be a great harvest and this and that, it's yes, it means on the inside, you know, it should be good and this and that, but and you know, there'll be judgment between the souls, but it also implies there might be parts of the firmament or heavens or mountains above or something physical that drops down and squishes people. Like, you know, just to be blunt.
Yeah, and Revelation actually does say that when this burning mountain comes down, 1/3 of the sea life dies, along with, you know, some humans, I assume, as well, causing tsunamis and all kinds of other events as well.
Yeah, some of those omens. We're gonna come back to some of those omens of these cataclysms as well. Let's jump back into your PowerPoint here.
Next one. So yeah, Revelation. This is the falling of that mountain is described as the war in heaven, right? The war in the skies. And for example, Revelation chapter 12, verse 7 through 9. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels waging war with the dragon. The dragon and his angels waged war, and they were not strong enough. And there was no longer a place found for them in heaven. And the great dragon was thrown down. The serpent of old, who is called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him. Revelations chapter 14, verse 8. And another angel, a second one, followed, saying, Fallen is Babylon the Great, she who has made all the nations drink of the wine of the passion of her immorality. And then Revelations chapter 18, verse 2. And he cried out with a mighty voice. And I already mentioned this one in a previous post. Fallen is Babylon the Great. She has become a dwelling place of demons, a prison of every unclean spirit, and a prison of every unclean and hateful bird. So it falls during this battle that happens in the skies, in the heavens, like literal Star Wars, because star in the Bible also means angel, right? You can call it Angel Wars. So it looked very sci-fi-ish, as Star Wars kind of shows us. There's this floating mothership, and the angels are going at it. And the angels are described as having a flaming sword, which again looks like a lightsaber. It sounds like a lightsaber.
Right, yeah.
And so they're all fighting, and there's this crazy battle.
Flaming sword, yeah. Lasers, right? Lasers. If you have a laser, there's sure to be a lens somewhere, right?
Happening in the sky. And what's interesting that I haven't mentioned is during the first century, during the fall of Jerusalem, there were a couple of historians in Rome or in Jerusalem that described what was going on in the skies at this time when Jerusalem was falling. And they all described in their writings that there was some kind of battle happening in the heavens, armies in glittering armor and chariots of fire going at it, battling. So like Josephus wrote about it, and then another Roman pagan historian called Tacitus, and then somebody else, but they're all describing the same event during that time. So it's very interesting.
Wars happening, all happening in the sky. Now, to me, this implies a lot of electromagnetic phenomenon. Personally, that can be seen, interpreted as angels or whatnot, but I think those are spirits anyway. this is so interesting. So one of my theories is that the firmament is physically made out of ice or frozen gases. And if that's true, it's interesting the sound. If you've ever lived near a lake that freezes over or whatnot, and you hear people ice skating on top of it, it makes the same sound when it's just cracking, like on the inside, as the little Star Wars, like pew pew pew. It goes like makes these weird space kind of sounds too, these sci-fi sounds.
Yeah, that is interesting.
All right, let's continue on.
Next one. So this is the final post. Now, coming back to the whole God's having a vantage point where they can see the entire earth, right? They surveyed the lands and they had a panoramic view. So there is this account in the book of Matthew, chapter 4, verse 8, where the devil takes Jesus up to a high mountain and tempts him with all the kingdoms of the earth, of the world, and their glory. So right here it states, either on a flat earth isn't a mountain tall enough to see all the world's kingdoms that were populated in the 1st century AD. The only way this was possible is if the mountain was high above the earth and the sky, like the palace of Zeus, Mount Olympus was believed to be. So the book of Matthew, chapter 4, verse 8. Again, the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. So in order to have that vantage point, it must have been the abode of the gods, right? As all these myths are talking about, as the Bible mentions, Mother Babylon, the destroying mountain above the earth. I think that's where Jesus was taken to see the vantage point of all the kingdoms. And of course, Jesus denies his offer and says, "You will worship the Lord thy God," right? He rebukes him.
Yeah.
And comes back down the earth, I assume.
I think that's so interesting.
How much you bet?
How much you bench? I know those characters. Isn't that from The Boys? Like,
that can be or have been throughout time associated with good also being associated with evil. So for example, the throne or the seat of God, right? The Antichrist wants to take up that throne. It's the same place, like geographically speaking, somewhere physically within this realm, under the dome in our world, there's battle. There seems to be a switch back and forth fighting or something happening between the forces of good and evil in these locations, in these geographic locations. And I like the point that you made about he couldn't have seen the whole world, right? If we're on a spinning, wobbling glob or whatever, flying through space or whatever. But if the world is a plane and essentially goes flat across or whatever, and there's a gigantic, huge, towering mountain where you can look across and see it all.
but my thing is this: it took him to the highest mountain where he can see the whole world, right? I mean, that's possible. The more elevation you get, you can see your surroundings more. But what about if that story is told in a different way? Like, this is the mountain, right? This is the mountain, and we're at the top of the mountain, and that's where you can see the so-called moon, right? I don't know, but why would you have to go to the top of the mountain if you can just look up and see the moon and the reflection? You wouldn't have to travel nowhere. You can just look at the moon. See, this is why I think maybe the moon was much closer, or a bigger image, right? A bigger image, just like ourselves. When we look in the mirror, we don't see a smaller image of ourselves, right? We do not see a smaller image of ourselves when we look in the mirror. It's the exact same size. The reflection is the exact same size. Something's been moved back or moved away, possibly, which makes the image smaller. Or the ceiling could just be higher than we actually think, more layers, but they're see-through. I don't know. But why would you need to go to a top of a mountain if you can just look at the mirror as a reflection? It will give you the whole realm, right? Or maybe when they're talking about the whole world, they're talking about everything, not just this crater, but everything. I don't know. That would make more sense if you could see the whole construct, not just the realm, but the whole construct. That would make more sense.
Or if you're up on the firmament and you can look down upon it all, right? If there's a firmament, it really, if it's a globe, it would have to be wrapped all the way around, and you still couldn't be able to see the whole thing, even if you were at any point on the firmament. You know what I mean? So I like that. That's a good point to make too. Let's continue on.
So yeah, well, that's basically the end. And I think a lot of what the Bible is saying is describing this abode of the gods. And like I said in the beginning, the Bible clears up the muddied water, gives us the identity of all these gods, and gives us the identity of their abode as well. Now, these are the pictures you see right here. These are some ancient paintings from like medieval times depicting the chariot of God and his angels and his abode, which is very interesting. Now, if Revelation took place, or the beginnings of the Armageddon, that means this floating mountain thing has already been thrown down, right? And some people might ask, well, where's the evidence of that? Where's the...
See, it's already taken place. It's already took place, right? It's already taken place. It's already taken place. He said, let me take it back. Look, it's taken place already.
Revelation took place, or the beginnings of...
It's already been thrown down. The mountain has already touched down. The eagle has landed, ladies and gentlemen. It seems like they're telling us the past all over again. The past has already happened, remember. The future. They're speaking about the past as it's going to be the future. All right.
And some people might ask, well, where's the evidence of that? Where's the crash site? Well,
The Godfather Wim says the opposite. Moon reflection was smaller in the previous reset, and now it's getting bigger. Okay, I've never heard him say that, but that's okay. It's okay, interesting. But if it was smaller, that means they would have to have been using lenses that was much more powerful, right? You have to have a bigger lens that is much more powerful because you're looking at something more smaller, much smaller. Vladimir in the building. How you doing, Vlad? Good to see you. Spartans, Hades, upside down V on their shield. US Army has exact same symbol on their tank, just like that V in our crater. Got you. Moonies, loonies, lay low, blaze up, stay high. You done know. Wicked. Let's go. 420 if you got that shit.
the one thing I didn't mention is there is a place near the Mexican Gulf, I believe, called the Chicxulub crater. It's the biggest crater on Earth, and I forgot how big it really is. But my theory is that this was the possible location where the burning mountain meteor was thrown down to.
Yeah, the Chicxulub. I spoke about that on one of my other uploads. I think it even features Jay Dreamers actually. But hold on, let me see if I've got that, because he's making a connection to the burning mountain, but they also say that is the impact which wiped out the dinosaurs. Right? Are you aware of that? That's the same impact crater that apparently wiped out the dinosaurs. Yeah, right. Is it something else? Maybe it's something else. Just sit here. Let's have a look. What's this one? Oh, it's not that. Let's have a look. Give me a second. Chicxulub crater. Which one did I do that in? That was what is the Chicxulub crater? Which number was that? Come on. Anybody remember that one? I can't even remember now. Let me see this one. 1 second. We'll have to get back to that.
to the earth and cause.
But yeah, what I was saying, the Chicxulub crater, the same measurements for the Chicxulub crater, right, matches the Mercator projection. Sorry, not projection, the Mercator map, right? The same dimensions and details for the Chicxulub crater, right, matches the Mercator map, ladies and gentlemen. Did you not friggin' hear me? But you don't hear me though. Okay. I'm gonna try and find it. I'm gonna let this play, but I'm gonna try and find it.
All this destruction, right? Even science is telling us that millions of years ago, a third of sea life went extinct. The Bible says a third of sea life goes extinct when this burning mountain comes down and turns the water into wormwood, turns into blood.
That's another huge part of this is the omens. So I see a lot of these things personally as being like something that happens on a cyclical basis. Some people do, some people don't, and then that's totally okay. But looking back, just especially biblically, because I know that you're a biblical scholar yourself. When we regard the times going all the way back to the creation event, and then a little later into the deluge and the flood of Noah, and then a little later into the destruction of the holy city time and time again, and the destruction of Egypt and Babylon and all these things, there come with them these omens, these signs. It's not just suddenly unexpected. No one knew it was going to happen. Even humans were commissioned by God, biblically speaking, to go and tell the people, in case you haven't noticed the world around you lately.
We got it now. Hold on a sec. No, we're gonna start it from here, right? This is for my shit. Holy AI Book Part 12, right? "200 miles in diameter at the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico." This is satellite imagery of the crater at the bottom of the floor of the Gulf of Mexico. Let's see what else we can find. Make some more cross references with the old maps. Now remember, if this is the Americas, that means this would be the Gulf of Mexico. Bingo! Hyperborea, hidden in plain sight. Let's quickly do some cross referencing. Satellite imagery shows a crater at the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico. The Chicxulub crater is 200 miles in diameter and can also be seen from space.
The largest impact crater of the celestial body, Minerva, is located in its northwestern part.
Minerva as well, right? I made that connection. I ain't seen no one else make that connection to the Chicxulub crater or the Gulf of Mexico. Lay low, Minerva.
It reaches 440 kilometers in diameter, which is about 3 times larger than any other crater on Titan. The depression...
You see what I was talking about Titan the other day? Who was there when we were speaking about Titan that other day? Right? When we spoke about Titan. Titan. Right? One of, the moons, right? One of Saturn's moons, I think it was. Right? Let's keep going. Now, just listen to the description to this place and look at the visuals, what I'm showing you. But listen.
is about 200 meters deep, the crater on Titan. The depression is about 200 meters deep, and the ring of the mountains surrounding it is less than 500 meters high. The fact is that according to studies, Minerva is not only the largest, but also the oldest extant crater on Titan.
The oldest crater on Titan. Not only the largest, but the oldest crater. Look at the pattern in the middle. You know? You know what you got to do? You got to look past the imagery, the CGI, right? Because keeping in mind, I'm aware this is computerized CGI, but what are they trying to cover up? What are they showing you to make it CGI, right?
Different estimates put the age of the crater at between 300 million and 1.2 billion years. Erosion and tectonic processes have severely damaged the crater, and it is only thanks to its sheer size that it is still visible. Minerva has a well-defined and sheer size.
Sheer size that is still visible, right? Chicxulub crater also is still visible due to its sheer size. Right? Follow me. Keep following, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I ain't losing you. All right? You got to excuse me. This isn't flat earth, so you may get a bit bored, right?
That it is still visible. Minerva has a well-defined internal structure.
Listen to the internal structure now.
At its center, there is a small flat plain, surrounded by a ring of hills. At its
Listen carefully now.
Minerva has a well-defined internal structure. At its center, there is a small flat plain,
Small flat plain,
surrounded by a ring of hills.
surrounded by the ring of
This region, with a total diameter of about 200 kilometers, is rather light and clearly
200 kilometers, right, in diameter, just like the Chicxulub crater, right?
visible from space.
This is the Chicxulub crater, located off the coast of Mexico. This crater is roughly 200 kilometers wide and 20 kilometers deep.
This region, with a total diameter of about 200 kilometers, is rather light and clearly visible from space. This region, with a total diameter of about 200 kilometers, is rather light and clearly visible from space.
Yeah, clearly visible from space. Clearly visible from space.
It is surrounded by a so-called moat, a stretch of dark plains about
Moat, right, and dark plains. Listen.
It is surrounded by a so-called moat, a stretch of dark plains about 50 kilometers wide. This is followed by a ring of low mountains that form the outer boundary of the crater.
Yeah, bingo. Stop playing with me. Let's take that back a bit.
A stretch of dark plains about 50 kilometers wide. This is followed by a ring of low mountains that form the outer boundary of the crater.
Ring of mountains, yeah? Yeah, ring of mountains. Low mountains that form the outer boundary of the crater. Alright? Alright? Stop playing with me, man. They ain't putting it together like this. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Where is it?
Messed up and upside down and backwards, and change, great change is coming. So beware, change, get out of here, leave the cities. And
I want you to keep that in mind, right? The ring of mountains. Right? The ring of mountains. You know what? Hold on, fuck it. Let's skip gears a bit. Hold on, how long we been going for? Let me see something. 46. Yeah. The ring of mountains, right? Pay attention. Moon maps, right? It's in everything.
This is the 1647 moon map.
What?
It's crazy. Wait till you see how they have overlaid the earth on this. I took this
is
actual
crazy.
page out of the moon map book. Let's just go ahead and get started. So Mount Sinai, which you see right here.
No, we're on the
By the
moon?
way, this is
There you go. Told you. Ring maps. The ring mountains again. Right? Look, Mount Sinai. Right in the middle. Could this be like the Mount Sinai right in the middle? Right? Took him to Mount Sinai. This be Mount Sinai. Could this be the ring going around it? What they're showing us? Right? The rings that go around it again. Ring mountains, ladies and gentlemen. This reminds me of the ring system again, Stonehenge, right? Ringed mountains. ringed mountains again, right? Oh, well, we'll get into some more of this. Just wanted to show you this part here.
Had many different warnings.
But keeping in mind, hold on, keeping in mind, this is on the moon, right? This is the moon.
What I do, I dive in.
Is there a Mount Sinai on the moon now? Huh? Is there a Mount Sinai on the moon? Is that what you're telling me? Or is it as above, so below, ladies and gentlemen? Or are we just a damn bloody moon? Which one is it? I don't know. Is it flat earth? Is it moon? Is it hollow? Is it globe? But some people will claim to know. One thing I've noticed, flat earth believers, right? They'll show you all these things with these maps and they'll call it flat earth maps. Flat earth, flat earth, flat earth, flat earth. All right? Flat earth, flat earth, flat earth. Told you, if you ain't being open-minded, we're going to be checking your homework. This takes me back to something that, where was it? Martin was doing a few months back.
Well, so they could definitely do that. Why don't they? Get on.
All right, we already looked at this map here. All right, beyond the ice wall.
Get on with their buddies next door, the Russians. Have a word about things. Shake hands. Stop being so silly. Anyway, so people are putting like names to the lands beyond. It is provocative. It's nice to think about, but obviously can't substantiate that this is the case, that you can give them Osiris, Eten, Odin, and do a narrative on it, but Nostrika Fundum, I can't even fucking say it.
Yeah, there's the names, and these same names apparently was the same names that was on this realm with us, which is quote unquote Earth, right? The names. Why do they have the same names that's on Earth, which is also on the moon? Look, Isis and Osiris. He just mentioned it, right? Isis and Osiris down here in the corner. And we can go to the moon and find the exact same thing. Isis and Osiris. Isis and Osiris on the moon map. What is going on? To get it straight, I'm working on stuff. Yeah, I'm always working, boy. I'm always working. You know me. I like to think outside the box. I encourage people to think outside the box. No, matter of fact, I encourage people to think outside of the dome. Right? Think outside of the dome. Osiris, Isis. On the moon map. Osiris, Isis. On the flat earth ring map. Right? Apparently it's a flat earth ring map.
Presents all of that. There's a few channels, one or two I don't want to really name on my channel, which put me off the old idea, actually. I don't know who the fuck these people are, to be honest with you. So there's that. Oh, excuse me. My maps went all hysterical. So look, the whatever this is, this comes up here as well. Got all the islands in the Pacific. I guess it's partly Antarctica. Maybe they thought it was connected to Antarctica. But again, they're not supposed to be down there. What's all these populations and people down here? All these towns and stuff on the old maps. Why are they putting towns and stuff on the old maps for Antarctica, guys? Pray tell. Anybody? Anybody? Okay. So I think there is stuff out there. And I've been thinking...
What did he say?
All these populations and people down here. All these towns and stuff on the old maps. Why are they putting towns and stuff on the old maps for Antarctica?
See, why did they put towns there?
That's good, guys. Pray tell. Anybody? Anybody? Okay. So I think there is stuff out there, and I've been thinking it for years. I've been talking about it for years, and my spidey senses have been tingling. Concerning the Urbano Monte map, this was found by Rob Skiba.
How come everyone's spider senses are tingling, but when you bring the moon to them, they're like, oh, no, 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 get that out of here. No, no, no.
Come up with this one. And then people saying instantly, oh, it's the ice wall. It's all land all the way around. It just shits out of nowhere. Oh, look at this. But really, when you look into it, the outside bits are representations of what is going on in the inner world. So this bit here is shown here, close up, Magda, around the outside of the map. So a lot of people had that completely wrong a lot of the time. Maybe that was the idea. Okay. Right, we're done then. We're moving on. So here we go.
Flat Earth map as a reflection in the moon.
Now, a lot of people will be talking about this. It's wound me up. Crater Earth has wound me up. I don't know why. I should just look at it, really, because
he said it's winding him up. Don't let it wind you up, Martin. Right? Don't let it wind you up. Look into it first. Right? Look. See, this is the thing. It triggers people, but they don't look into it. Martin just said it. It triggers him, but he should look into it. No one looks into things, but it somehow triggers them. Fascinating.
So here we go. Now, a lot of people will be talking about this. It's wound me up. Crater Earth has wound me up. I don't know why. I should just look at it, really, because as I said, I got millions of photos, and maybe it's just me, guys, okay, but I can't see it. Now, it's basically, there's the idea is there's a map out there. This isn't it. It's the highlighted version of what is supposed to be a 14th century German map, which shows all of the outer lands, and the azimuth equidistant laid out, although I'm not sure if there's a Hyperborean included in this. Yeah, it looks to be.
Yeah, it's in the center. It's like right there. I think that's it there in the center. 1, 2, 3, 4. That right there. According to this map.
I'm not sure what these are here, because they don't exist off the west coast of Africa, do they? So I'm not sure what's going on with there as well. Not this far north, anyway. So people have said that the plasmoid or the plasma reflection on the moon.
No, but that one right there, that reminds me of that's that region that I think I've done it with the occult rejects, you know. Hold on a second, wait there. See, this is why you have to do your homework, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on a sec. What episode did I do with the occults now? Let's figure that out. Which one was that? Oh, I just clipped it. That's what I did. Okay, yeah. That's not on the full version. I clipped it. Okay. Cool. No worries.
Is showing an exact representation of the outer worlds and the world we live in, which is good evidence towards extra land and flat Earth, etc. But it's just I can't find it anywhere else. If I find the evidence elsewhere, you know, more of these maps be groovy, because I've dug all of these other maps out.
Because you ain't come to me, Martin. You ain't come to your boy. All right? You lot are trying to do all this moon work without coming to the source. All right? You ain't coming to Wim. You ain't coming to London. You lot are just trying to figure out shit by yourself. Don't know where to start. All right? And then when you lot can't make the connections, you're like, all right, don't make sense. Forget about it. Because you ain't come to the source. You haven't come to your boy, huh?
This one was by Patrick Moore, who actually got knighted. Old Patrick Moore, but he mooned the man. And I'm guessing it's this bit here. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. Here is from the same era, all of these maps, which is really, no, that's the world. See? Yeah, that's the world, actually. Terra world.
Hold on. You hear that?
Which is from the same era, all of these maps, which is really, no, that's the world. You see? Yeah.
Did you hear that? He said that's the world. He said that's the world. Got him. You see how similar, right? He said that's the world. Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at the moon right now. This is the moon. This is the moon. Martin, did you know you're looking at the moon right now? This is not the world. All right, this is the moon.
Here is from the same era, all of these maps, which is really, no, that's the world. You see? Yeah, that's the world, actually. Terra.
He said that's the world, actually. He said that's the world, actually. Oh, Lord.
Dignatus. South America completely connected to this Antarctica thing.
See, look, he's yo, he tried to point out South America on the moon. Yo, that's the moon. This is some funny shit. This is some funny shit. My brother, this is the moon right now. This ain't Earth. It says Terra right there. I know it may confuse you because you've seen Terra. You've seen Terra. Why would they even have Terra on the moon? That's my point exactly, ladies and gentlemen. Is there land on the moon? Does Terra not mean land or Earth in scientific movies? So what are they showing us? This isn't a scientific map. This was done by Heralius. So they're showing you, like I said, I spoke about it before. After Heralius, Riccoli came through and changed the name to Roman names, God names, and all of these things. When originally, when Heralius had it, it had the names as the Earth because he, documented what he's seen through the telescope. So he said, okay, it looks like I'm looking at, I don't know, Russia there, I don't know, America there, I don't know, so on and so forth. So he put the names where he was looking at. Wild. Wild, 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 wild. Look.
Old maps. When I found this map book, I just went off. I've probably been playing around with this map for the whole book, actually, for about, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours. Some of the stuff I found in there, I'm not going to get into it here, but dates that I found that confirm dates that we talk about on my channel, you should check it out. It's crazy. Anyways,
wow.
That Mount Sinai area I was talking about, that's where the button is at, okay? The button, I'm putting up a little picture of the moon, but that little button area, that's where Mount Sinai is.
Oh, man.
They have on the previous page, which I show in the full, all
right, so that's where Mount Sinai is, he said. So hold on, where was it on? That one. One of the craters. It's mad.
like a 10, 15-minute video on it, or I went paid.
But even got Libya again, all right? Libya. Taurus, Mount Taurus. This is the African mountains. That part there look like over there, but Mount Taurus, that's wild. What's going on there? Everything's mapped out. Everything's mapped out.
Just have a look where I'm looking at you. Oh, wow, that might be a reflection what they're saying of
Got him. Say it again. Yeah, I know it's breathtaking, right, Martin? Hey, Martin, that one made you lose your breath, right? Hey, brother Martin, that one made you think about it for a second. I know.
Just have a look what I'm looking at.
Yeah, have a look. Have a look. Take it in. Take it in.
Oh, well, that might be a reflection what they say.
Yeah, it's different, right? That's what I'm saying. You have to take your time and look carefully. Take your time. Don't rush. Don't rush. Take your time. Take your time. Right?
It's not on the moon, is it?
Yes, it's the moon. He said, that's not the moon, is it? It's the moon, brother. That's the moon you're looking at, huh? And you probably just located some places that you thought was Earth. That you didn't even realize was the moon. This is the moon, my brother.
Oh, well, that might be a reflection what they're saying of. It's not on the moon, is it?
Yeah, the moon.
I don't think so. But anyway, really not.
You don't think so? What? What do you mean you don't think so? What do you mean you don't think so? This is the moon, family. What? You mean you don't think? Oh, come on, come on. That's the, ladies and gentlemen. Are we high right now, or is this the moon? Is this the Earth we're looking at, or the moon right now? Let me know in the chat room. What do you folks think? Moon or Earth? Who's high, London or Martin? Who's high right now, London or Martin? Mooney for life. I should have gone to Specsavers. Yeah, crazy. CC said moon. Kyle said moon. Rasta said he had himself cornered. We are looking at the moon from come on. Crazy. The rest of them must be flat earthers. Why are you a flat earther? Okay.
It's not on the moon, is it? I don't think so. But anyway, really nice. I like that a lot.
Yeah, he said really nice. I like that a lot. I told you, hey, Luna is lovely. Luna is lovely. She's lovely to look at, whether it's a picture or the real thing. She's lovely to look at, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
I don't think so. But anyway, really nice. I like that a lot. Well, here's another moon map. They got oceans, as you know, the Sea of Plenitude and other oceans, which apparently dry seabeds or whatever they say that they are. Which
Look at that. Look at that. Terror again. Why they got terror on the moon? Why do they have terror on the moon? Wild.
Things for them. That takes us back to the Garden of Eden in the creation story. They also had a similar motif where they lived comfortably. There was sin that was introduced, or wrongdoing, or degradation of morals, or whatever it may be. And there was an exodus. There was you have to get out of this place that had happened, right? For whatever reason. For me, now I'm going to switch gears a bit and get into the Tartarian Empire. We're just going to touch on the Tatars, or the Tatars, or whatever, for just a bit. I have seen And there is a biblical correlation of these tribes. These are original, quintessential, lost tribes. Some say 12, some say 13. It depends on who you talk to. But at the very least, there's these 10 main lost tribes of Israel, right? And that if we go back in time, it seems like if we look at the Mercator map, right? I don't have it pulled up right now. If we take a look at the Mercator map, I'm actually going to pull this up real quick. So we're going to go back to Mercator's map of the Arctic, and it's not just Mercator. For everyone who's watching, there are many different cartographers across time that have included this exact same map of the Arctic, or land at the Arctic, we'll say. Is this it? No, that's not it. Hold on. Well, sorry, one second. Let me get this fixed here. All right, so Mercator map. This one. Boom. All right, cool. So here's Mercator's map of the Arctic, right? Now, I'm going to zoom in all the way, and let's take a look at it. Let's suppose, right, that this was Eden at some point. Let's just say this is a contender. So if it was, and at some point in time, at the very least, Adam and his wife were kicked out, possibly their families and stuff as well, who knows? But they left this land, this whole region, which is surrounded by walls, high and lofty mountain ranges that go all the way around it, with rivers that are said, according to myths and legends, to rush so quickly that it's difficult to defy them or to escape them. So let's say that there was a way provided. They left. They would have come out here to the Southlands. If this is north, all the rest of these lands are south. So they would have come outward. Let's say it's not just Adam and Eve. Let's say they have family members, and we're just saying that there were tribes at this point in time that all left. And then it makes sense to me that they would have come to the closest areas. This is the northern hemisphere, and then become nomadic, working their way around or down or southward. As maybe some of them settled here or settled there, but they would have been considered outsiders. They would have been considered barbaric.
Connection successful. Connection successful.
That's it.
And weird. And these are the types of descriptors that we get with civilizations that have become lost to time or not really focused on, like the Tartarian Empire, as it's commonly referred to as, that were nomadic in nature, that didn't really have a place, that seemed to have just ingrained themselves, what do you call it, grafted themselves in, you could say, right, to use a biblical term, into the southern world, into those who were surviving whatever had happened prior or it had existed. For example, the land of Nod, right, just to use a biblical example. We've got like the land of Nod. Cain was banished to a pre-existing land of, there's already people there and stuff, right? So we have this connection with the Tartarian Empire and subsequent nomadic.
Hold on. I think I found it now. Go back a second. Martin was trying to.
Although I'm not sure if there's a Hyperborean included in which is supposed to be. Basically, there's the idea is there's I'm not sure. Yeah, because they don't.
Yeah, so this part here, right? This land here from Africa, right? If you go to the old maps, it's showing you what it is, right? We covered this on the Occult Rejects, right? Let's have a look.
Welcome to the Occult Rejects. In this episode, it's a very special episode for me. I'm finally getting this guest on that I've been trying to get on for months. Somebody that I do think is covering very good information on the. I had you coming on tomorrow because I was even like, "Oh, this is perfect." It's the 17th. Yeah, with the occult numbers, you're going to come on at 11 o'clock. But. So yeah, I do know that you had hit me up and you told me you wanted to talk about some of the sigils and some of the stuff that me and Teresa had even talked about, I think, on her show. So I'll pull up the slides now, and this one right here. If you want, I mean, I guess the floor is yours if you want to talk about this.
Oh yes, indeed. Basically, this one right here, I've noticed, right? Oh, hold on, let's do this. I've noticed. Well, I've been saying this for the longest, Nick. Right? I feel like the sigils and the stars. Yeah.
You take all these sigils and put them together, you get the map of the tunnels underneath.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Leads you to the pot of gold.
No, but it was funny because when I saw them showing like the tunnel system, like the way that they drew it, like on a map, I was like, "Yo, those look like those look like the Arbitel sigils almost, or this shit." It was
Something with a tail, I
like
feel.
a fish type
there
thing.
there you go. All right, let's get straight into this. Let's get straight into this. Remember the Pleiades, right? The Pleiades. I want you lot to remember the Pleiades.
The
I'm going to show you
players.
the Players Club. Right? What's at the back of this, right? You've got the Pleiades, right? This is a giant creature. This was the island Mu.
Let me say this. I don't know if it's the creature, but I know it's something, right? I'm going to take that statement back. I don't know whether it's the creature, but it's what they're showing us, right? It could be another part of the anatomy, for all I know, right? We've come a long way, right? But like I said, what Martin was showing you, where is it? Here? Could be the Pleiades again, right? Look, right by Africa. Right by Africa, where this is. Azan, all of that stuff. Titan, look, Titan again. We've got another Titan over here. Look, Titan. Sodinus. Look at that.
Right, I'm gonna,
Oh my god, and I just watched Aquaman.
this is what I think they're showing us.
No way. That's wild.
Holy shit.
The three lines going up look like the channels going through the islands.
This is why I'm here. This is why I'm
Right?
here.
Hey, hey, that's cold. Hey, the occult rejects, yeah. They're good, man. They're good folks. Good folks. I've got time for them. Good folks.
Tribes, and all of this strangeness about them.
So yeah, hold on. Sorry, I meant to go back over here. So, like I was saying, if people do their research, right, then when you look at stuff like this, you'll be like, hey, I've seen this somewhere, right? It looks similar to something near Africa, right? It could be the Pleiades and, Atlantis over here, it's saying. Atlantis. I'm not saying it is, but that's where they're saying Atlantis is. Right? The Pleiades here and Atlantis here. So that could be Atlantis here. I don't know. I'm not saying it is, but Pleiades here and Atlantis here. Or there, one of them. But yeah, you get where I'm going with it, right? You get where I'm going. Don't act like you don't see. It's your boy London putting it together. Don't act like you don't see. Rasta in the building. Well gone, Rasta. Top Cap in the building. Salute. Chill Star in the building. Salute, salute. Welcome, boys. Welcome.
That they have left to us that have survived the test of time. In particular, their
heads up. I just got the message. Family's on the way back, so we're gonna cut this shorter than expected. But we may come back out and do this again. But yeah, let's keep going for now.
We call it buildings, when people make buildings or whatever. My mind went blank. You know what I'm talking about.
Architecture?
Architecture, yes. Yeah. So what do you think about we're gonna shift gears in going into more of like the old world, the medieval times especially, and the architecture and the things that have survived to this day that tell us that there was something different about that season or that moment of time.
Yeah, so Christianity ruled for a period of 1,000 years in history, which is interesting, right? There's a couple empires that last 1,000 years, or about the Byzantine, the Christian Roman Empire, which all happens after
The Byzantine. I want to look more into the Byzantine. There's a lot of connection with them.
the fall of Rome. And they say this was the so-called Dark Ages, where things just really sucked and, people were dying apparently. But that doesn't make sense whatsoever, because all across the earth during this time, people were building architecture that even today we have a hard time replicating, right? The cathedrals, the mansions, the castles, the intricate designs, the artwork. I'm like, if they're dying and starving and at war, where are they finding the time and energy and the will, to do all this stuff? One thing that's very interesting to me is me and JT, we did a podcast on the worst year in human history, 536 AD, right? The Great Darkness that covered the earth for almost 2 years.
Yeah, where do they have the energy to fight? And not only that, all these dynasties and civilizations that was created, why would you even want to war each other? It looked like everybody was on the same level. No, something don't add up. Something don't add up. Somebody got jealous, or there was an outside force that invaded. I don't know. But yeah, I think we'll leave that there for now. Where are we? 51-24. Yeah, we'll leave that there. We'll come back and do that again. Most definite. Grand old chat room, what's happening? Yeah, salute to you folks. But yeah, like I said, it all leads back to the moon, right? It all leads back to the moon. Hey, Cece, I just see a message come through. Thank you. I just see a message come through.
Page by page by page, so you could really see everything. But it's just so neat. Like, and it also in the book, it details out all the different craters. Like, they had details. But this is an overlay. This is another big crater up there where Mount Etna's showing. There's it for Sicily, and then there's this. So there's the island.
Look at that, Mount Etna in Sicily. Sicily, ladies and gentlemen. And you call me crazy for looking into these things and doing further research? Huh? You call me crazy because there's little links here and there, all right? We're supposed to just roll over, leave it alone. Don't look into it. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. I ain't rolling over for nothing. It may be nothing at the end of the day, but I'd rather investigate it and find out that it's nothing. Then I'll be more content. All right? Until then, it's going to be the moon.
Of Sicily, right? And then you have the Mediterranean all around that. It's really interesting. And then I would say if we're going up here, right?
Look, Niger. Look at that.
We got the Alps right here.
Alps, Hyperborea.
Get Italy there. So
Nothing.
So we go across over here. Let's see what we got going down into here. You got the Egypt area right here, so it would come into
Egypt area.
There.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. You look call me crazy. Cool. Say no more. All right. Go and do your research before you call me crazy. All right. Don't worry. We'll be out here doing some more dot connecting. I'm pretty sure of it. I'll get ready for the family now. All right. So you already know the motto. Salutes to Lizzo as well. Much love, Lizzo. Know you're watching in spirit. You know. Salutes to all the good people. Much love. We'll do this dance again. Look after yourself. Love over war. Lay low.